there's the narrative out there that, okay, now the Jaguars are playing with house money. But your experience as a coach and player, I mean, you can't just say, well, you know, if we don't win this week, not a big deal, we'll play with house money. But I mean, you have to embrace these opportunities. There's no guarantee you're going to keep getting them year after year after year.
Whether it's our money or house money, we're here. And it's a credit to those players in the locker room and the coaching staff for, you know, believing in each other, obviously working hard. What we've done down the stretch, you know, regardless of the mishaps, we're here.
Doug Peterson, Jaguars coach, first year. Wouldn't it be funny if he becomes the first guy to win Super Bowls with two different teams? Wouldn't have had that on the bingo card of the all-time great coaches who managed to win and none have Super Bowls with two different franchises. Peterson also said that they can play freely. They can play loosely, something we've talked about. Nobody expected them to be there. Nobody expects them to win. It's a powerful thing, and we've seen many a one seed fall victim to that lower seed that wasn't supposed to be there. It's a dangerous spot for the Chiefs. And how about this fact? Although I'm not as smitten with this as others.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence has never lost on a Saturday, high school, college, or NFL. Well, how many Saturday NFL games has he played in 2 years?
Well, one.
2?
Yeah, I think
he's probably up to 2.
Yeah.
Well, he had the Saturday game, the Saturday night game.
Oh,
remember
right.
the NBC dinner he didn't come to?
Yeah, right.
Played that night.
Right.
And then this past Saturday. So he's 2-0, I think, on Saturdays in the NFL.
Yeah. It's a cool stat. You're right. I mean, it doesn't really hold merit going forward. It just speaks to, you know, again, he's been dominant everywhere he's been. He's been a stud, and, you know, he's finally getting back into the stud conversation here in the NFL right now, where he was kind of trying to find his way as a young quarterback. But he's jumped on the scene in a big way. This would be an interesting one because, like you said, there's some psychology there. They go, it plays right to the Jaguars' hands. There's also, I could flip it around and go, you know, I know they played there in the regular season, and I know they have a playoff game under their belt, but they played a team that really doesn't know what the playoffs are about in the Chargers, nor, you know, again, no disrespect, Jacksonville, the stadium, it's not necessarily known for to be crazy and, oh, it's so loud and such a tough environment to play in. They're going to walk into something this week that they have not experienced as NFL players. They're not. They're going to see a team that knows what type of intensity and, you know, emotional, you know, output that is needed for playoff football, let alone a team that's going, we want another freaking Super Bowl. So that's where it gets interesting. You know, like I said, they did have a little taste of it in the regular season, so maybe that helps them out. But that's where I am interested in being on the field, you know, in the pregame on Saturday, kind of seeing the faces and the energy of Jacksonville as compared to the Chiefs. And that'll be something to watch for sure.
I keep thinking back to 1996, the year that, was it 96?
Which one are you talking about?
96, second year in the league for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Jaguars going out to Denver.
Right.
Beating
Elway and Shanahan.
The Broncos.
Yeah, Mark Brunell and company, right? Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Them and Carolina Panthers.
I remember where, that was one of those moments, you know, there are some games where you remember exactly where you were. I remember exactly where I was watching that game. I couldn't believe that the Broncos were going down to the Jacksonville Jaguars in only their second season. That was the two teams, Jaguars and Panthers, both in their second seasons, got to the conference championship that same year. Giants-Eagles, long history. Eagles favored by 7.5. I was a little surprised by that point spread. Here's Jalen Hurts on whether he's worried that the Giants will target his injured shoulder when they play on Saturday night.
It's football. You know, I got a bounty on me every week. I go out there on the field, so go out there and just play my game. You know, whatever happens, happens.
Bounty's probably not the right word to use given something that happened 11 years ago, but look, that's the way it is with quarterbacks. Even though they don't talk about it anymore, it's frowned upon. It's part of the game. It's always been part of the game. What did Al Davis always say? The other team's quarterback must go down. He must go down hard. You want to intimidate. You want to physically assault the quarterback, because if he's not able to play at the highest possible level, you got a better chance of winning the game. That's now unspoken, but it's still part of the reality, even though the NFL has tried to put the quarterbacks in bubble wrap as best they can.
Yeah, I mean, guys don't want to hurt players. You know, they don't. You know that. But they want to make them feel it. That's for sure. And if they get hurt within, hey, feeling it, then so be it. That's how players think. I think enough guys, right, in the NFL. They're not trying to hurt anybody, but are they trying to hit you as hard as they possibly can and hope it bangs you up? Yes, they are. That's exactly right. And then Jalen Hurts, of course. I mean, it's one of the better players in football. He's the guy that when you defend everything with their offense, oh, man, the quarterback design run or him scrambling, you just go, huh, we don't have an answer for that. And, yeah, will some giant guys want to fall on him extra hard when he's running or getting sacked in the pocket? Yeah, they're going to probably let their body weight go a little bit, probably cognizant of that little shoulder issue there. It's a big-time game. We'll see. It's interesting. Watching back that game the first time, I did that a little yesterday, or their first matchup, not Week 18 matchup. Giants did some good things on defense. They did. They made life hard on Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. So that's, maybe they can slow them down. The Giants had a punt block, let up a big kick return, had a fourth down play call that should have been intercepted, if you remember, and Julian Love kind of went up and waited for the ball and let Devontae Smith catch it and score a touchdown. So we'll see. But, now Philadelphia also knows how they kind of defend them, too, and they got time to prepare for that, and they could have a few wrinkles off of that as well.
You made a good point that I want to make sure we emphasize, and I want to make sure that folks understand what I'm saying. There was a time in the NFL where, and I think it was pre-free agency, 70s, 80s, the teams truly hated each other.
Right.
There wasn't that cross-pollination among players where they did try to injure quarterbacks. The idea was you get the quarterback off the field, you get the backup in, you got a better chance to win. I think now it is more about rattling the guy who's in there.
Right.
Not injuring him, not knocking him out of the game, but giving him something to think about, making him think twice, the physicality that goes along with it. When you get the opportunity for the clean legal hit, you want him to think twice the next time around. You want him to be off his game. You want him to be rattled. I think that's how it goes now.
Yeah.
And there isn't what we may have seen in the 70s or 80s, where things did get a lot dirtier and there was more of a deliberate effort to try to get the starter off the field and get the other guy on as well. I know we got to move on, but there's another point. My son and I were talking about this last night as well. Who do you think the Eagles spent last week preparing for?
That's a good question. Well, I would think that they didn't spend a whole lot of time on the Giants because they have, some things in the bank already on the Giants, right? We played them twice. We kind of know them. So that's where, I would have expected.
The second game was the JV team, though. The second game was the JV
I know. You're right. You're right. But you still watch film that week and do all that and prepare for them, right? So they got to have at least a little bit of a file on the Giants. I would guess the Bucs. I would guess the Bucs are probably the team they prepared for because, again, the same thing with the Cowboys, right? They got a little file on them a little to where I think you go to the team that, we don't have anything on yet. So that would be my 2 cents there.
I probably assume to some extent they had people working on all of them.
Yeah, I would
Bucs
think
be
so.
the one that they hadn't played this year.
You go a little harder on that.
You need to be ready in the event that that's the team you're going to face.
Right.
And then as of Sunday, by Sunday, you knew it was the Giants, so it gave you that extra day. You didn't have to worry about the Bucs or the Cowboys anymore on Monday because by Sunday at 7:30 Eastern, unfortunately, you knew that the Giants were
Big Blue.
Bengals and Bills getting together. I can't believe it's only been 16 days ago.
It does seem like
weird?
forever
It's been
ago.
16 days since Damar Hamlin. The Bengals and Bills got started. The Bengals were up 7-3. The game was postponed and then canceled following the Damar Hamlin cardiac arrest. Which offensive performance from the wild card round concerns you more, the Bills or the Bengals?
Easily the Bengals. Easily. The Bills moved the ball. The Bills just need to see the big picture and go, wait, we're up 17-0, and Josh Allen don't just throw a jump ball, and I know John Brown kind of screwed him over there, right? But that was a point in the game where you go, wait, we're in control of the game. They got Skylar Thompson. Woo, wee horsey. Hold on. Slow down here a little bit. Let's play a little conservative. So I'm never worried about the Bills. The thing I worry about with the Bills is just they put too much on, one guy's shoulders. Again, couldn't really run the ball all that great last week. It's all about him. It's miraculous throws. He's got guys like Cole Beasley and John Brown. Nobody in football wanted these guys on their team, and here they are playing, huge minutes for them. I think that kind of speaks to that. So that's where I worry about them. But, the Bengals is concerning. It is. We've seen this during the year, and it's a simple offense. And when teams kind of figure them out, they go, wait, we got you locked up. Joe Burrow's got nowhere to throw. And I think what compounds that even more now is we got 3 out of their 5 starting offensive linemen out. And that's an issue. So that's going to affect them as is compared to the way they were when they played the Bills in the Damar Hamlin game. It changes things here a little bit. It's advantage Bills defense a little, the fact that they're beat up front, and now they might not have to worry about the run game, and their pass rush might be able to get there a little more quickly. So I'm more concerned with the Bengals, Mike.
The Sunday games shaping up to be awesome, really all weekend. But Bengals, Bills, Cowboys, 49ers, that's the last one. That's the Sunday night game, 6 o'clock.
That's going to break the ratings
most
meter.
Looking forward to in that matchup?
Yeah.
They did $30.6 million on Monday night for a crappy game between the Cowboys and the Bucs. Can you imagine what this Sunday night's going to do?
I can't.
On Fox when Cowboys and 49ers get together?
It's going to kill
What's your number one thing? Number one thing.
I think the first thing is the 49ers do have an advantage here just from something you just brought up, Mike, right? That they got 2 extra days of rest, and if they were smart, they've already played the Buccaneers. So they probably have gotten a head start on the Cowboys to go, wait, we haven't played them, so let's just go all in on the Cowboys here for, 48 hours, right? And if it's the Bucs, okay, so be it, but we got a little base there anyways. So they have an advantage there. I think the big thing for me is just can Dallas find the right combination of stopping that awesome run game without compromising themselves to a point where, the Shanahan special play action, those type of plays just absolutely, don't gash them. That's the thing I'm interested to see. But, man, you talk about studs and freaks on the field. This one takes the cake this weekend with freaky guys on a football field. It's going to be awesome.
Plenty of people on the outside have complained about the Cowboys having to turn it around on a limited time, fly home, fly to Santa Clara. The 49ers are home. They get 2 extra days, yada, yada, yada. But you know what? Jerry Jones didn't say him boo because he understands money.
Yeah, that's right.
Comes from that Monday night game. And Mike McCarthy said the same thing. TV is king.
Right.
And obviously the Cowboys are king when it comes to NFL on TV, and that should be a great one on Sunday night. Again, all of them should be great this weekend, and high stakes. All winners qualify for the conference championship. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.